Hello, this is Steve Malone with Compass of X. Hope you're doing well today and again some good trades. I want to take a brief moment and look at the euro dollar. The euro dollar on a monthly chart has broken a significant level and could show signs of continuation to the downside to some specific levels that I want to point out to you. Now, obviously looking at a monthly chart is that big picture, and things may not come to fruition for days and weeks, but we should identify some key points from being this far out. This is a level which the big boys look at. So as retail traders, we should at least be mindful of the potential of moving to these levels. So the level of interest that was broken today is when you simply run a trend line from this low point to this low point. Now, as we can see, the low of the day today is 27.45. That's about right where we're at. The trend line was sitting up there around 27.78. Now, obviously, this is a monthly bar. The month is not over with. We're just about halfway into the month. But we would look for a close of this bar below the trend line to see continuation. However, it should be noted that the trend line is being broken as of today. So where do we go from here, and where are some of the levels that some of the institutions are looking at the market from this time frame? Simply grab a fib retracement tool from this low to this high point, and you can see that we've been a while back. We were around that 130.46 level was the 618. The 786 comes down to 125, and the 88.6 comes down to about 122.25. Interestingly, in the 78.6 and 88.6 area is where many analysts have been expecting the euro to move back towards based upon a real valuation of the euro. Many analysts have commented that the euro's real value in the marketplace is between 122 and 126. There's the possibility that we see the market move back down to this area. Now, noting these levels, let's look at the market to see where the market could potentially go to based on previous lows. This low right here sits at 26.23. This low point here sits at 123.29. And we have some average lows in this area from that low point to these lows to highs back in here and further back around 24.56. So as the market moves down, we want to make note of certain key points that the market may move to. Now, even though we have these target levels, there's always the potential for the market to retrace back up. It's starting to make a move down off of this swing up. There's the potential for the market to move on down, potentially back down to this low point. But as the market starts to move in the direction expected, there's oftentimes the opportunity for the market to bounce and move back up. So let's take a look at the daily chart, and let's look at the levels where we could expect the market to retrace back to before moving in the downward direction. As you can see today, we're breaking that trend line on the monthly chart, but a pushback could see us move back to 129, 129.74 based upon that low, 130.30 level based upon some lows and some closes in this area. If you can notice that there's a large head and shoulders pattern here, market came up and finally dropped over from this large head and shoulders pattern, and that is around the 30.30 level. A very far retracement would take us back to the 30.75. If I simply go off of the high seen back here to the low that we see today, we can see those retracement levels. And you can see that the 618 retracement level is right at that area of some lows that we're seeing back in this area. So if the market were to make a push back, a favorable move in the euro dollar, there's the potential to see it move back to 618. Now my thinking is if we stay somewhere between 23.6 up to the 38.2 and cannot get above the 38.2 and 50 area, then we're going to have continuation. If the market does retrace back up and we get into this area here, the 38.2 to 50% level in this area, then there's possible correction and we move back a little bit higher. So there are some levels here, and notice the confluence around these levels. 23.6, not too far away from the 129 level. There's about 30 pips in that area. Here, about 29.50 compared to 29.74. About 24 pips there. You see how the market gets even tighter here around the 50% retracement around that 130 level. So if there is a retracement on the euro dollar, look for it to possibly go to one of these levels here. Other than that, we're going to look for the market to push on down. And these are the levels that we had talked about previously for the market to push down to. So consider for the moment the big picture of what the potential is for the euro dollar. Now, I just want to make note. The last time we were down in this area, the market got a little range bound. So let me point out to you the range that we could potentially find ourselves within. From these highs and lows back in this area, you can notice that we had some highs and closes up in this area and some lows seen right down in this area and closed as well. This is a range that extends from 2820 area down to about 2650 area. The market could bob up and down in this area without moving back to retrace point or further down to a potential target of the 126.23 area. Taking a look at the Traders Dynamic Index on a daily, we can see a pretty strong push to the downside. The green line is outside the blue volatility band, indicating that we can continue to push down lower from a daily perspective. Looking back on the monthly chart, it's just now bouncing off that red line, and there's a potential of a move back down as the volatility band starts to open back up a bit and continuation of the downside. So just make note of these levels that I've pointed out. Make note of the range here that we could find ourselves in this range between about 2820 down to 2660, 2650 area, and beyond that would be then the targets we'd be looking for. Above would be the retracements, looking for sell potentials off of these retracement levels. Well, folks, it's D Malone with Compass FX. My thought is always look at the big picture. Always be aware of what the institutions are looking at. It can give you some information as to what the market is attempting to do as you trade intraday. Y'all make it a great day. Get some good trades. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.